Well, hello everyone. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Toms Serenity Acres. My name is Ozella Toms, and I thought today I would share with you the reasons we decided to move to the South. But before I do that, I would love to share with you a few details about our family. Michael and I have three sons. Our oldest son is Michael Jr. We call him Mikey. He's 31 years old and he is in the military. He's in the Army and he's stationed in Georgia. He enlisted at 17, so he is definitely on the route to stay in the military till he retires. Our middle son is David. He's 28 and he works for a state reentry program. So these are gentlemen who have been recently released from prison, and he works with them on, re-entering society. He really enjoys that work. Our youngest son name is Josh. He just turned 22 and he is in the trades. So he did his HVAC certification, and so he's working in that area. We also have three grandchildren. Our oldest son is married, and but he had all his children prior to marriage, but he is married and he has three children. Our oldest granddaughter is Addie. She's 9. Our grandson Braylon is 5. He lives with us. And then we have Mackenzie. She's 4. So those are our three grandchildren. And we have some bonus grandkids. Our son Josh is dating a young lady who has a little baby. He just turned 1. Actually, he has the same birthday as our granddaughter. And he's a little cutie pie. And then my foster daughter, her and her guy, they just had a little baby in February, a boy. So we have two bonus grandsons, and so really excited about the little ones. And as most of you who have grandkids, you know that we tend to like our grandkids more than we like our children. Um, so yeah, so they're great. So again, the reasons why we decided to move to the South. Number one is, well, let me back up. Probably in 2018, 2019, Michael really shared his vision and his desire with me to move back to the South, because we lived in North Carolina for a number of years. He's from North Carolina, and we did live in North Carolina I was there for about 13 years. And so in 2018, 2019, I was working in Wisconsin, and he was here in Michigan. And he really talked about how he wanted to move back to the South. And at that time, I was focused on my career. I had these aspirations of being a provost or a chancellor. I was working at a university. I was a professor, but I was also working in some administrative roles. And so I was really, focused on, becoming a provost or a chancellor. I want to, work towards that. And, so I told myself, well, I can't move to the South. I need to move where the opportunities are for my career. And so at that time, I just wasn't on the same um, path. I was focused on a different things. And so he was like, well, yeah, I really do want to move to the South. So fast forward, 2023, I moved here from Wisconsin, and it was right after my mom passed. She passed in September of 2023. I moved here like 2 weeks later. And at that point in my life, I really needed a reset. I just really needed a reset in life. I was working a job that I didn't necessarily enjoy. I didn't really feel like I was making a difference. I wasn't able to do the things I thought I was hired to do. I was still working, at a university at that time and making really good money, but it just wasn't quite what I needed. And when my mom passed, it really impacted me more than I thought it would. Based on my experiences with her, my childhood, it just shocked me how it impacted me when my mom passed. And so in September 2023, I was at a point in my life where I really needed a reset. So I came back home, came back to Michigan. And when I came back, Michael said, well, in 2 years, we're going to be out of here. We're moving back to the South. And so at that point, I realized that I wanted to have a different type of life. I realized how precious life was, how precious time was. And I wanted to spend my time doing things that were meaningful, that really impacted others. I really wanted to live my life, spend time with my family. And at that time, he had Braylon, our grandson. He had Braylon since he was 6 months old. And so I knew I was walking into a situation where I was going to be raising a child again. And I said, I just needed something different. So at that point, I was on the plan to move to the South. And at that point, we started looking, at land and just really thinking about what we wanted to do. But so some of the reasons why we decided to move to the South is we just wanted a slower pace of life. We had lived in the South before. We enjoyed being in the South. And so we really wanted to get back to a slower pace of things. We currently live in Detroit, inner city. And those of you who know about the city, it's fast, it's busy, there's always something going on. But we wanted to get back to a slower pace of things. We also wanted to be more self-sufficient. And so Michael has had a garden for years in our backyard, and but we want to expand that and have gardening, have chickens, meat chickens, egg chickens. There's really get involved with some homesteading. So we want to be a little bit more self-sufficient. With that comes buying property that may require having a well, where we don't have a water bill, but we pay for the well up front. Maybe even looking at a place where we have a propane tank and not having a gas bill. So just really trying to be a little bit more self-sufficient, so we're not relying on this system so much. So that was another reason. So one, really want to have a slower pace of life, want to kind of slow down in life, and really thinking about retirement. Like, what are we going to do once we retire? And so we're really setting up that retirement plan and saying, okay, if we can get to a slower pace of life, it'll be a little bit easier to retire. If we get to a point where we're more self-sufficient, we'll be able to, do more things on our own. And it's a different environment for our grandson. It's just different when you live in the South. And so we really wanted to give our grandson something different, a different way of life. He was born in North Carolina, and so taking him back to where he was born, in the South, we thought would be a great idea. And so those are really the main reasons, really just a slower pace of life, being more self-sufficient, we want some land. Right now, I think the next video will probably be kind of showing you where we live now, but just wanted more space, want some land. And so back in September 2023, that's when we started looking at different land, where could we live, where, what are the different states we can live. So that's we kind of started that process. So I just wanted to share those things with you. And I know some of you are aspiring to move to the South, and so I would love to hear some of the reasons why you are interested in doing that. I'm just so glad that I finally got to the point to where I was on the same path as Michael and wanting to move back to the South. So I hope this enlighten you about the reasons why we decided to look towards moving to the South. And I want to share a little bit more about our family. And so I hope you take care of yourself. Keep planting seeds of hope. Keep planting seeds of faith. Keep planting seeds of love. May y'all bless you. Until next time, we'll see you at Toms Serenity Acres. Take care.